Hey guys, we're going to do some practice on our equivalent expressions. So this has to do with combining like terms, has to do with finding out if two expressions are equivalent or not, and also factoring out our greatest common factor. So let's do a few problems out of each of those things. So you need to pause the video, write down the problem, and try it on your own since this is your test review. So when you distribute this negative 5, because you know you have to distribute that because there's parentheses there. Negative 5 times positive 2x is negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. And then we bring everything else down. Now, in order to combine like terms, we do what we call bubble and move. And inside the bubble is the sign, the number, and the variable. And then we have a positive 5, positive 10x, and a positive 4. So here we have negative 10x plus 10x plus 5, oops, not x, just plus 5, and then plus 4. Now we put our like terms together because they both have the x's. So negative 10 plus 10, different sign subtract, so that's 0. So you can write 0 or you don't have to. And then we have 5 plus 4, which is 9. So your answer is really 0 plus 9, which is just 9. There's no variable there because the variable's canceled out. Okay, let's try the second one. I want you to try this, and remember, you have to distribute that negative because that is 8y minus 5 minus 6 plus 4y. The 6 and the 4y are being subtracted. So we're going to distribute the negative to the 6 and distribute the negative to the 4y. So we have 8y minus 5, which we cannot do anything with that. So we're just going to drop the parentheses. Minus 6, then minus 4y. So notice that that negative was given to both numbers inside because we're not just subtracting 6. We're subtracting 6 and subtracting 4y. So we have positive 8y, negative 5, negative 6, and negative 4y. So we have 8y minus 4y, minus 5, minus 6. If you haven't paused it and tried it on your own yet, you need to do that. When you subtract these, 8y minus 4y gives you 4y, and negative 5 minus 6, they're the same signs, so we keep and add, or you can do keep, change, change, and recognize that they're the same signs, so we can keep and add. So we have 4y minus 11. Okay, so let's start looking. On your test, you're going to have 3 questions like this, and it's going to be true or false. Are they equivalent or are they not? So let's look at this first one. Y to the 4th power and y plus y plus y plus y. Well, let's simplify this. That's 1y plus 1y plus 1y plus 1y, which is 4y. When I expand y to the 4th power, that's y times y times y times y. Are these the same thing? No, they are not. That means there's 4 times y, and this means there's y times itself 4 times. So that one would be false. I want you to try the other 2 without me, and then click play again to see the answers. So on this second one, we're going to distribute the 2 to simplify it and see if we get 6y minus 2. That is 6y. But then 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So are they equivalent? No, they are not. So that would be false. The last one is x to the 3rd power and 3x. So we look and see, okay, x to the 3rd power is x times x times x. 3x does not equal that. 3x would be x plus x, just like plus x, just like that one up there. So that one is also false. So we had all false on that one. Okay, those aren't going to be the same questions, but you're going to have questions like that. So make sure you recognize how to simplify and see if expressions are equivalent. The next one is perimeter. And on this one it says to write the perimeter in 3 different ways. So I'm going to write them in 5 different ways so that way you have some examples. So because there's 5 equal sides, and we know they're equal because of these dash marks, then I can do 5 times 4a plus 1. I want you to pause the video and do 4 other ones. So another way we can do that is 5 times 4a and 5 times 1. That's 20a plus 5. You can also write it out, 4a plus 1. You can do it 5 times because there's 5 sides. When we find perimeter, that's all we're doing is adding. So we can just keep going. We'll have to write it below it. We're adding all of these up. So far we have 3 different ways that we can show the answer. Another way is putting all of your a's together. So we can put 5 4a's and then 5 1's. Okay? One more way we can do that is we could do 5 times 4a plus 5 times 1. Now remember, where we got the 5 from is because there are 5 sides. And so that meant that because we were adding all the sides together, we had to add them up to get the perimeter. All right. Factoring out the greatest common factor. This is the thing that we learned last. So we need to factor out the 16a with factor trees and the negative 6a. If there is a negative, you have to take out a negative 1, so don't forget that. 16a can simplify to 2 times 8. You could also simplify to 4 times 4. If you need to watch me do this one and then try it on your own, that's fine. If you know what you're doing, you need to pause it and try it on your own. So we have a 2 that's prime, and we keep going with the 8. We'll get 4 times 2. 2 is prime, so you go with a 4, and that's 2 times 2, and that finishes the whole 16. So 16a simplifies to 1, 2, 3, that's 4 2's. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times a, because we can't forget about that a. Negative 6a, since there's a negative right there, that goes with that 6. You have to take out a negative 1 and then your 6. And then simplify 6. So when we factor it out, negative 6a will be negative 1 times 2 times 3 times a. Okay, so now we have to find our greatest common factor. Remember, on these, all of your answers look like this, where your greatest common factor is on the outside. Because we're literally taking it out of the problem. So we have a 2 in common, and we have an a in common. So 2 times a is 2a. That is your greatest common factor. What's left over is what goes inside. So we have on 16a, we have a 2, 2, and 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And on the negative 6a, we have a negative 1 and a 3. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. So your final answer is 2a onto 8 plus negative 3. Or you can just do 8 minus 3. It would say the same thing. And that's all the practice that I have for you. So if you need to practice anything more, go back in your notes, go back in your old homeworks. You can click on classwork, and it's all separated by our topic, and you can just look under combining like terms and practice anything that we've done so far. Good luck!